And welcome to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook. Did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up? That's The Real Level Up on YouTube, LinkedIn, and now Twitter. Also, I want to let you guys know something right now. We are going to go live exclusively on StoopUp. So right now, you can watch us on StoopUp. Go to stoopup.com, sign in, and get ready to be a part of our live shows exclusively when we go on in January. Hey, everyone. I just want to thank everyone for coming on. Let me tell you how excited I am to have these two beautiful people that are so very important in my life. I want to welcome in our guest host, Gina A. Towns. Hey, Gina.
Hey, what's really going on the real level up? Angie from the beat.
What's up, y'all? Y'all do know I often talk about my road dog, my business partner. Here she is in the flesh, you guys. No, some of you guys like I talk about her a lot, and y'all like, is she really real? Yeah, stop saying I have imaginary friends.
Don't nobody ask you that. Stop playing.
You do.
Stop playing.
Gina, they think that you are an imaginary. Like I
Well,
got an
there you
imaginary
go.
friend. But listen, you
Sometimes I
guys.
think I'm imaginary, so it's okay.
You know what? Listen, if y'all want to have your tickle bone today, here it is. What I want you guys to do is go ahead and hit that share button. Hit that share button, you guys, because what I want more than anything, I want so many people to join in this conversation because in the studio, who we have are my sisters. Now I know y'all see one, and of course, yes, I have two more, really three more. But we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, you guys. They will soon be on. So when they come on, we're gonna do this. Yay, y'all met it. But one has already made it in. My oldest sister, Tracey Dunlap-Weaver. Welcome to the show, Trey.
Hey everyone, so glad to be here. Let's hope my other sisters make it too.
Well, they are. Listen, we're gonna give them some grace. Grace is space. I've heard that from somebody else that says that. And I said I'm going to take that one. Grace is space. So we're gonna give them a little space, you guys, and in the process, give them a little grace. But that's okay. We're all here right now, and I just want to once again thank you guys for joining in on us. I see we got Jewel Dixon Clayton in the house.
Yes.
She's already saying, "Hey Angee, hey Tracey, and Gina."
Hey Jewel, it's my baby.
I know, I know. Welcome, Jewel. Be sure to hit that share button, girl, because I definitely want you to join in on this conversation. But you never know. Make sure that you have more people joining in to join on this conversation. Well, Gina, I gotta say to you, girl, how you doing? What's going on with you?
All is well. I cannot complain. I think, you asked me to share a scripture today.
I
And
do.
so, as I thought about that, because, I'm gonna go on my soapbox for just 1 minute.
Come on, you got some time.
Okay, good. So here's the thing. Inasmuch as the word of God has been used to oppress people,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's still a lot of wisdom. Um, there's still the precepts
Mm-hmm.
of life and living it to the full. And so as I thought about, that today, and how that's just not even a thing, really.
Wow.
And so much in the younger generations as well. But there's just in the world, it seems like it's a peeling away
Mm-hmm.
of um, the knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and the light that the word of God is. And
Wow.
so,
Good
that's
point.
how I'm doing.
Yeah, good point.
Focused. And that's all you can do, because life is still going to come at you either way.
Yeah.
Life is coming. It's going to rain, children.
That's right.
So you need to have your umbrella and your boots.
That's
and,
right.
As you walking through
Your
life,
hood or your hoodie, whichever
right.
works for you. But yeah, I'm good, in that respect.
Yeah.
Well, you look good, girl. You look
You
good.
look good. I appreciate you.
Hey,
We all a work in progress.
Yeah. Like you said, it's all about that faith.
Yeah.
We faced some tough days just here lately, with mama's health and things going on with my kids, but I take out that
Word of
Bible
God.
every day, get in my prayer closet, and pray continuously. That's what
Yeah.
gets me through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I am back in school, and I have been trying to do this for a very long time. I think that being able to learn in a different space and place is good, because it always adds to. And I have been in a lot of conversations lately because I'm in an African American public theology class right now, which of course I am enjoying, because our witness as a community, speaks for itself, and I think that, we don't even give ourselves enough credit sometimes about how we have been able to persevere, under such great oppression and constraints in the country which we live. We have brothers and sisters that are all over the world, but nobody has really been in the way that African Americans have been in the United States. And so, it's like you said, Trey, you had some good days, you've had some good decades, and then you got some other ones. And so it has been through the sustaining faith that we have been able to grow as a people, as a community. And the challenge always is to stay connected. And that's kind of where we are now. We are challenged to stay connected.
It's a challenge
To each other, and to what can sustain us as far as sustenance, some food, more than some milk, chewing on some solid food.
Yeah.
What, do you have that scripture ready for us right now, Gina?
Okay, yes. This is, if anyone wants to go with me, this is 2 Peter in chapter 1, verses 3 through 9.
Okay.
His divine power has given us everything we need for godly life through our knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and goodness. Through these, he has given us his very great and precious promises, so that through them, you and I may participate in divine nature, having escaped the corruption in the world caused by our own evil desires. And I'm going to, I don't mean to say I add to it, but, for the evil desires of other people as well.
Ooh, wow.
For this reason, make every effort to add to your goodness. So that's me, to your goodness and your goodness and your goodness. But for me, add to my goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. For if I possess these things, these qualities in increasing measure, doesn't mean, so when it says increasing measure, it doesn't mean I already got that.
Right.
All of those things, I might have a lock on maybe one.
I think she might. Tracey, there?
I'm here.
Measure, they will keep me from being ineffective. And that's in anything I'm doing. Keep me from being ineffective and unproductive in my knowledge of Jesus and his precepts. But whoever does not have them and this is the last verse, but whoever does not have them is nearsighted and blind, forgetting that they have been cleansed from their past sins. And I just kind of stop on that because I don't assume that everybody is on the same journey at the same time.
No.
And everybody hasn't come into the realization of where they may really be. So if I just stop at, if you don't have them, you're nearsighted and blind. Well, if you're blind, you're in the dark and you're bumbling around looking for the light that's coming from under the door, maybe outside of the room that you're in. But, if you're blind, you're not going to even see the light coming from under the door. So you spend a lifetime bumbling around.
Good point.
Gina, thank you for sharing that. And what we're going to do, everyone, we're going to go ahead and take our first break, and when we come back, we may have one more sister that's
let's do
it. All right, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Have you been sluggish, bloated, overweight? You could be toxic from your environment, food, and medications. It's time for a clean start. Come by or book online today.
Prepared, crafted, and baked with love. A taste so delectable, like they were sent from heaven above. With every bite, a soothing warmth settles and abides. It feels like a hug on the inside. Kyrie's cookies explode with flavorful taste no one can duplicate. Joy permeates the soul with every bite, creating a tasty intimacy to savor, a merry delight. A sprinkle of joy, a pinch of happiness, a dash of faith, a cup of compassion and happiness are ingredients that give Kyrie's cookies bona fide uniqueness. Kyrie's cookies make my heart sing, packaged with a royal presentation fit for a king. Kyrie's cookies, a tasty treat that are simply a pleasure to eat.
Next week, our next show is this coming. And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who was watching us, did you know you can head on over to the Real Level Up? That's the Real Level Up on YouTube, Twitter, which is now X, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So I want to also let you guys know that very, very soon, we will be going exclusively live on StoopUp. I want you guys to head on over to StoopUp.com, sign in, and you guys will be ready in the month of January for our exclusive live show on our exclusive platform called StoopUp. All right, just want to give some shout outs to some people who are watching right now. Shout out to Felicia Pope. Thank you so much, girl. We see you in the chat. Also to Edward Weaver. That's my nephew, guys. And yeah, I think that person is kin to you. Go ahead and unmute Tracey so everybody can hear you. Also, we've got in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, who have landed. Come on in, is my sister, Rhonda Coman-Shaheed. Hey, Rhonda, say hello to everyone.
Hey, guys. Hello, Level Up audience, Level Up family. Hey, how you doing, Miss Gina?
Also,
hey, Tracey. Hey, Ange.
Hey, also we got who is watching is my other half, Mr. Torrance Scott. Thank you for joining, Torrance. Also,
She's
who
got.
had said hello to everyone is Sheila Renee. Hello, Sheila Renee. Thank you for joining in.
Sheila.
All right, you guys, we're gonna go ahead and lean on in, you guys. Just wanna, let everybody know that I have invited my sisters to join in. And as we always say, now it might be a couple of people that are like, well, wait a minute, I thought I was number 7. Well, we call a few people number 7. That's who Gina is. Gina
There's nothing wrong with 8.
He's like, I'll be number 8. But yeah, we got a couple of number 7s who are watching right now, you guys. I don't know if you guys have been following either one of my sisters, Rhonda, Victoria, who's going to be on a little bit. We're going to actually bring her in when she comes in. So
Okay.
we'll, bring her in as soon as she comes in. But if you guys have been following us for years, you will know that we have a total of 6 sisters. It's 6 of us.
Right.
So with that said, there's 2 of my sisters who are here. One of our sisters passed away on last year, and her name was Erica Mahan. And so I brought my sisters on to let you guys know that there's been a lot that's been going on with us, and that's why I said 2 years later. My sisters were supposed to come on last year at this time, but we couldn't do it. And a lot of the reason why it was hard for us to do that is because we were actually in the midst of losing our dad, and we didn't know it.
Right.
All we knew was, and I rarely do this, Gina knows this, I rarely will cancel a show. I rarely cancel Level Up because I know it's so many people that are watching this show and are looking for the good news that we share.
Right.
But that particular day, and I think I want to say it was, gosh, Trey, do you remember? It was around December the 3rd, maybe the 2nd of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he passed December 15th. So
December 15th is when my dad passed.
Right.
And so it was a year that was heavy for my whole family. We had lost my sister in April.
Right.
And then we lost our dad in December. Mm-hmm. So I can't even imagine. I know who I was. I was actually, thank God I was with our 7th sister, Gina. She was right there with me as I was going through what I was going through, just get through it. And I'm glad I had my best friend who literally, you guys, I treat her like all of my other sisters, like Rhonda, Tracey, and Victoria. But she was right there to help me to get through that time because I'm a daddy's girl. So when I lost my dad, many of you guys may not be as close to your dad, but I was. And when we lost our dad, I needed to lean on someone else besides just my family. And she was right there. Yeah. And she was a perfect person to do that because, I don't know, Gina, 2 years earlier, you had lost your mom. Mm-hmm. And I remember Gina telling me then, I'm going to be right there when this happens to you. And for her to have the wherewithal, ladies and gentlemen, to even tell me that when she was going through, the loss of her mom, I was like, how do you know to say that? And it's not, I'll let you speak on that, Gina. It's not that you had your foresight in what was going to happen to my family, but I just appreciate you even being there to say, I'm going to be there when this happens. Because I remember watching how Gina went through losing her mom and just the resilience that she had, even though the pain was deep. So Gina, I just want you to kind of talk in through that a little bit, and then, ask any of the questions you had about our time.
Well, I think you bring up a really great observation and comment, Angee, in that a lot of people may not be as close to their dads. And certainly this was not my dad, though I had lost my dad in 2010.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself was different because I was estranged. and there was somebody else dictating, his process, his outgoing process. And so that my mom's situation, losing my mom, was much more, it was similar to your situation, because you were close to your dad. And so, the bond that's there, affects you in kind of a different way. You weren't dealing with the same thing. It was more like me losing my mom. And what I thought during that whole process is that nobody ever really tells you, people just don't really talk about it. I don't think, like, this is what this feels like. Sometimes you just got to sit and be quiet with people when they're going through, that particular event. And what I always was going to be happy about was the fact that you had sisters that you were close to, and that you all had a tight bond, a tight knit group of sisters. So, and everybody doesn't have that either. Some people have siblings and they're not tight knit.
That's true.
They don't talk. So I've always admired, the relationship you all have, because it helps you to weather, what you're going through.
Yeah.
And Trey, what do you got to say?
Well, Angee, we know you were the favorite. No.
Well,
try to tell you.
Actually, we say that all the time, but my dad and my sister Angee, as well as Erica too, they thought a lot alike. They felt things a lot alike. And I admired the fact that Dad had that separate bond with each of us. But with Angee, it was a little more, because they just thought alike. Everything they encountered, they understood one another very well. So the death of my father probably hit her a little harder than the rest of us. Now, it hit us all hard. It's still hard. But I think it got to her because Angee is just not an emotional type of sister. She tends to hold things in. And when I saw her break down, I knew that was just strong for her. Again, like I said, we all miss them, and in our different ways. Like, I miss them right around this time of year because it's football season.
Yep.
And girl, that was our thing.
Football. That was our thing. Yeah.
I would try to make every weekend over there, every Saturday when Auburn played, to watch football with him, because Auburn was his team. Now get this. He had 4 girls that attended the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
But he was an Auburn.
Big time. Big time Auburn. Well, listen, I almost made Auburn. I was accepted, was supposed to go, but Georgia Tech said something else. So
yep.
I was making my way to Auburn, and I keep telling you, that's why I'm the favorite. Look at Gina. Look at Gina.
Honey, he tickled me. He said, Gina, he said the reason why he was for Auburn was because all of his money went to Alabama, University of Alabama.
4 girls, Gina. 4 girls went to Alabama. I don't know
dad
how.
Was that funny? Yeah.
I don't know how Winifred and Marvin Smiley sent 6 girls to school. Well, I got something to say about Gina about that, because Trey, she's a lot. That's why I call her Winifred Jr.
Well, and I like that. Don't play with that.
Is
she listening? Listen, I got to be careful now, because
she listens. She listens.
She knows I call her another name, though, right?
Yeah.
Does she know?
Yeah. No, say it.
I think
no. Y'all gonna get me in trouble on this show. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. This is like when you all were young and somebody did something and you just want to sit back and see if the one who got caught until it's time to get a whipping, and then you're gonna really tell. I'm not playing with y'all with her. Hey, mama.
Hey, Rhonda, you got a lot of background noise, so we're gonna have to unmute and mute when you come on. But go ahead and chime in. What's your
Okay. Well, I can move to a different room to see if that'll help.
No,
okay? Not now. Don't do it now. Don't do it now.
Okay. I'll wait till you go on to commercial.
Okay.
Now, I was just listening to the conversation. I just recalling all the games that we would go over there with him and sit there and watch, especially when Alabama and Auburn played together. That would be some type of a rivalry. But those were great times. We just enjoyed being together. All of us enjoyed just being with family, traveling together, all those things. Because he was also one that didn't mind exploring, didn't mind going out of the country in places like that. Those were the times that we spent together that I can recall. That was great times. We went to Italy, went to Greece, just all over the country. Things that he wanted to do with us was travel. Angee was the first one to take us out of town when she was on the Junior Olympics. Was it Junior Olympics, Ange?
It was called actually Kimberly Harris is on. Hey, Kimberly Harris. She was on.
Hey, Kim.
So Kim and I, when we were, Kim, you gotta type in the name of the team that we're on. But I remember it was the youth games.
Yeah, the youth games. Yeah.
So what the youth games were, Ron, stop moving. It's a lot of noise.
I'm not moving. I'm sitting here.
What the youth games were bringing the kids from all over the city that had talent in every type of sporting event that you can name. It was called Youth Games. Thank you, Kim. So I was part of the basketball league of the youth games, and my other best friend named Maria Elias Young now, she was on the track team. So all of us, were part of this larger youth games that traveled all over the country. And we so happened went to New York, of which Kim's people were from, and we were at Fordham University. I remember that in the Bronx, and that was really my first time taking my first plane trip out of town, and that actually sparked the whole family wanting to just travel the country. And I'm so proud of my mom and dad that followed Rhonda's lead on traveling out of the country.
Yeah.
So you guys encouraged us to not travel just in and around the country, but make it a point to travel outside of the country as well. And it was such a learning experience for my nephew, especially my nephew Christopher Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's done a lot of traveling. A lot of the places that we visited, well, they really started traveling even before that, Angie, if you can recall, because Dad always wanted to go out of the country, going to like different islands. I think Tracey, you were the first one to go travel with that. You could expound on that. You all went to Aruba and all those places.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's when we went on those cruises. Angee,
Yeah.
That was just exciting for him. That's just something he wanted to do, because his only other experience outside the country was Vietnam.
Right.
oh, really? I didn't know that, y'all.
That was it for him. So that's why he wanted to do more outside, just to see the beauty of more of the world than what he experienced in Vietnam. Because he made two tours to Vietnam, and we know that was all bad. So I admired him for doing that, just wanting to be more adventurous, to not just stay in our little small box. Now, we as Black people, we're not known for doing that a lot. So to find a Black man from his time that wanted to get out and explore the way he did was pretty unusual. So that was something to say. I don't know if we would have experienced it like that otherwise if he had not voiced how much he wanted to travel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I love having these conversations. Gina and I talk about this all the time. Just having simple conversations, even with your family. You may think you know something about your family member just because you live with them, but not so. I literally, Tracey, I did not know my dad did two tours in Vietnam.
Yeah.
The one thing that I did know was that he was 3-time Purple Heart.
Yes.
And that in of itself is a feat. And that's why I know that my dad, you guys, Marvin Smiley, he literally, when he married my mom, I was 8. I was 8 years old. But before that, they had a great courtship, which helped us to understand, getting to know him, getting to trust him. Because I know that my mother had to be sure who she brought in our midst, because she had 4 little girls. And during that day and time, we still had to be careful of who was around us. And I remember my mom would always talk about, always let me know if somebody is not only doing something like touching us inappropriately, but even spoke to us inappropriately. And that's why I always say, I watched Gina do the same thing. She didn't play about her kids, her cubs. So
Right.
Gina, I want you to talk a little bit about that. Even raising kids during this day and age, and how you still have to be careful.
Is that talk about it right now?
Right
Oh
now.
my gosh. Listen here. I just got done doing a scripture in the last segment. I really, now I'm going to have to draw from that well. So, I was listening to you guys, and people can pick up, the listening audience, and thank you all for being here too and tolerating me amongst all these wonderful people here. But I was listening to you guys talk, and I just thought, how nice it is to have great memories. And even, through the tough times, though, you draw on these memories. But I am very well aware of your childhood.
Yeah.
And, because you all are in different places age-wise, each one of you experienced, divorce, and necessary. Some people, this is what I always say, some people get a divorce and they remain friends and they're good and they raise the kids together. Good. That's not everybody's circumstance.
No.
Sometimes, you all, as I did with my own children, left under duress. And, it's a whole nother thing when you feel like your children. And I think that may be one of the reasons why Angee always, calls me, your mama Junior.
Junior.
All of y'all are Junior in a way, though, because I see a little bit of Winifred Smiley in each one of you. But nevertheless, that just brings out a whole nother part of your personality. And I know that's why in Luke 14, when Jesus says, you got to love me more than you love these kids, more than you love your father, mother, brother, sister, yes, even your own life. But when it comes to children who are not able to fend for themselves, and you guys were young and witnessed a lot. And, your mom, I'll just, share this one little part on her behalf, had the wherewithal to get her 4 daughters in the middle of the night into a car and leaving the world behind. Not being afraid. That's what it's called. That's why they call it stepping out on faith.
Yes.
So, maybe you guys can talk about that. And I'll start with Tracey, because Tracey is the oldest. And so, when you're the oldest, you might get the brunt a little bit more of what's going on in the household. And sometimes the youngest one doesn't even really understand what's going on in the household. So
Yeah.
Tracey, take the floor. Share whatever you want to share.
Ooh, Gina. Yeah, that was a heavy time because, like what you mentioned, you know, my mom as well as myself is trying to keep the younger sisters from seeing a lot. Unfortunately, I did. And a lot of what I witnessed was a lot of violence between my mom and my real father. It was one of those things that probably has impacted me through my life, even now as we speak, as far as relationships. I know it has. My sisters have told me too many times that it probably has. It's hardened me to a point. And you know, when you're a child coming from that circumstance, it probably follows you for the rest of your life. I think what my sisters did not see was probably the scared face of my mother, some of the licks that was thrown at her, the threats with guns, just me trying to remember to tell them to stay in the room so that they would not be in the face of danger.
I remember that. I remember you pushing us in the room. Yep.
Yeah. And this was all while I was between the ages of what, Rhonda, 10, 11, and 13.
Yes.
A lot of it I've had to really block out because at this point now I'm trying to reestablish a good relationship with my real father. Yeah. And that's because with my stepfather being gone and him making such a great impact on our lives, we want great impacts of great experience with my real father now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's watching the show. We have yet to really sit down and really talk face to face about the things we experienced when we were young. You know, a lot of families do that. You know, they just kind of push it aside so that no feelings would be hurt. But in essence, if it's not discussed, then a lot of open wounds will remain open. So I think that's where I am, Gina. I still have some open wounds. Mm-hmm. And it makes it difficult for me to carry on in relationships. Mm-hmm. I find it hard to trust men. And I have a good friend that talks to me about me getting counsel on that particular subject. I really need to be diligent about that because I don't want it to be where it has passed on to my own children. Yeah. And they feel a way in their relationships.
So that's actually where I am too, Tracey. I just, so y'all, everybody knows who I lean in on. Here she is right here. I just texted her something 2 days ago, saying that I'm going to get serious about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this before because we got 1 minute for break, but Jewel just weighed in and she said they say the oldest sibling is the memory keepers of the family. Good memories or hard memories, the oldest keeps them.
That's true. Yeah. You dead on with that one, Jewel, because you're the oldest too. So you remember a lot of stuff that your family went through. And then we try to establish some sort of box around us so that we can keep peace within ourselves.
Wow. So before we go to the break, and Rhonda, certainly we want to get back with you when we come back. Sure. And I want to talk about the whole issue of people coming to the table to talk about it, because, forgiveness is one thing. It's another thing when people can confess, because that's reconciliation. There's two things: forgiveness and reconciliation are different. And I've always said that. So we'll get to that when we get to the next segment.
Okay.
Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Don't tell me, do you feel that? Hey, don't tell me, do you feel that?
Hey, yo, are you sick of all these social media platforms not allowing your content and your creativity to come to the forefront? If you're ready for a game-changing online experience, let me introduce you to StoopUp, the digital neighborhood that's shaking up social media. Hey, no more bots, no more fake accounts, and definitely no data suppression. At StoopUp, we're all about boosting your voice, celebrating creativity, and building dope connections. It's where family-friendly and positivity unite in style. Hey, yo, so we're calling all community leaders, artists, entrepreneurs, and content creators. Get ready to cash in on your videos, streams, autocasts, photos, and your thoughts. On StoopUp, you become a creative partner and monetize with just one supporter and a fully loaded Stoop. Don't miss out. Log on today at www.stoopup.com and join the digital neighborhood for free, and let's supercharge your creativity. StoopUp, be the good news.
Don't tell me, do you feel that?
Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you tried, things just still go wrong?
Many times.
What do?
I let go and let God.
All I'm asking from you is to bump up our credit limit to where it was.
It's declined.
We're experiencing some financial hardships at the moment.
You have 6 days to make payment.
I can't believe this is happening.
You know, I never asked you to pray with me.
It's you and me. We got this. God wants to help you, Peter.
Excuse me?
But you're not letting him in.
I did once. Last time we spoke, you took a man away from me I loved dearly. From that day, I swore to take matters into my own hands. But now I don't know what to do.
I know that you don't believe, but I will pray for you.
I love you so much.
Copy mo.
It was a miracle. You believe in miracles?
Listen, if you need me, you call me. All of the angels in heaven are rejoicing. You gotta know that everything is gonna be okay.
Be sure you guys tune in next week. Same time, same that we talk about Gina is coming. And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook. We got a lot of people that watch us on Facebook. But did you know you can watch us on YouTube, LinkedIn? It's called X, y'all. It's also called X. But I want to let you guys know something right here, right now. We're doing an all-out campaign. We want to let you guys know that in the month of January, we will be going exclusively live on StoopUp. What I want you guys to do is head on over to StoopUp, sign up, get your Stoops ready so that when you are in our live feed, you guys, you can be ready to join in on this conversation. I do want to shout out one person that already knows this. What's up, Marquita Too Deep Wilson? She has already chimed in with saying this, you guys. I know that losing my mom was a very hard pill to swallow, and losing her husband a year later was equally as hard to swallow as well. So, Marquita, I hear you, my sister. Thank you for joining in on this conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. But I want to get right back to what you were saying, Gina. Go ahead with your question and comment.
Yeah, so Tracey, we were just before you left, and thank you for sharing so openly and so real. I mean, and that's the point that I was trying to get to is for, people that come together, because sometimes even in counseling sessions, people aren't being real, or people will sit there and tell them, well, this is what you did and this is how it made me feel, and they don't acknowledge. So, help me and help our audience as well with your thoughts on the difference between forgiveness and that being able to move on and reconciliation.
Wow.
That for Tracy or me?
You can jump in too, Rhonda, if you want.
Well, I was going to tell you,
It's
because a lot of it has to do with you as your own
She went
coming
out.
to grips with realizing everybody's not going to think the same way you think. Everybody's not going to have the same account of how things are going to go. But you have to have within your own self that you forgive that person or you understand what has happened.
Yeah, and
Rhonda's still going out. Go
she's
ahead.
she's in and out.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely right about the issue of forgiveness.
Yes.
You have to move forward, but I think that some people don't know the difference between pushing it aside and, well, I've forgiven them, and it's still there because it's not dealt with. And so, that's why I was asking the question, Tracey, about reconciliation, because reconciliation has a little bit more to do with re-engaging with the person.
That's right.
That has offended you versus, I can forgive you, but I'm not going to fool with you anymore.
That's true.
And those are really two different things. And I think they require different things. There's a requirement for reconciliation. So yeah, that's kind of what and I heard you talking about your, working on, the mental space to go and deal with your dad.
Yeah. That is a good question, Gina. I probably was in the state of reconciliation, but at this point in my life, it has come to forgiveness, because I also realize with my real father, I may not get that specific I'm sorry. I don't know if that has to do with his account and how he saw things, or he just has put blinders on about it. Regardless of the fact, I love my daddy, my real father, and I love the man that he has become at this point. And I thank my stepmother along with that, and getting him to that state where he can talk with us, discuss with us, love on us more than he's ever done. I'm not saying he's a completely changed man, but he has become a more gentle man in dealing with us. He wants to get to know his grandkids and his great grandkids, because I think he's come to that point in his life where he knows he needs us to a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he always has loved us, but I think he now sees where he needs us in his life, and we need him, whether we realize it or not. We do. I know I do. I'll say it for myself. I know I do. If I'm going
No, I do. I'll say it too. Go ahead.
Okay. I think we do.
Well,
if we're going to reach that point of closure with what has already happened. And I have to say, my sister Rhonda is far more forgiving than I've been. She's just that person. That's the difference in us. She's just that person where she's like, you know what? Life is what it is. We deal with it the best way we can. We move on. Well, for me, it was more like, yeah, life is what it is, but there's a reason why it's what it is. So it took me a little while longer to get to that point where she is, to be forgiving. And I admire you, Rhonda, for being that way. You were the sister that showed me how to do that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying, Ron?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I understand. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Rhonda's
I was gonna say
2 years younger than me, but Rhonda is the old lady of the group, as we put it. So
yep. Thanks.
She comes with that old
Thank
knowledge,
you.
you know. We say that.
Well, it's just that you have to realize that forgiveness is for you.
Yeah.
That's the important point. Forgiveness is for you. You have to get past those issues because things have happened. Okay? Things have traumatized us. But we have to still move on and live in God's word. And we still have to do what? Honor our mother and father so that our days will be long. And not only that, you realize that it sets you free. It frees you of all that guilt or hate or insecurity, because my faith, truly, my faith has made me the way I am. Because you can't let other people dictate who you are. Okay?
Right.
That's my belief. You have to allow God to dictate and lead your life. That's the most important point that I realize in letting things go. Okay, because people are going to have bad days. People are going to have issues in their life. It's how you control yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the big thing right there. It's controlling you.
Yeah, that's Rhonda, and kudos, because even your sisters, applaud you as being the leader in that area. I know that one thing that happens as we get older, we reflect. Time, you can't escape time. Time is going to move on with or without you.
Yes.
And certainly as we get older and we look back over our lives, and everybody has regrets. There's just no way to get around that because nobody is perfect. And so what it has taken, I think you talked about a process, Trey, with your father. You see him evolving, you see him changing. And we do look for that, in order to re-engage ourselves sometimes. I believe that you can have forgiveness, Rhonda, and you have been, very eloquent and convincing. I know for a lot of people to really stop and revisit this whole thing. I do believe that you can forgive and not re-engage with the same behavior that people have. And people have behaviors because of certain reasons. Sometimes people have experienced something in their own lives in the past that then comes out in them. Sometimes people have personality disorders or whatever that cause them to act, the way that they act. And you don't know in the moment, because once your emotion gets involved, when you are emotionally attached to somebody, you're looking to have things done in a certain way because you think you're dealing with a person who's going to deal with them like you're dealing with them.
Exactly.
And that's not always the case. Mental illness has always been around, but particularly for us as a Black community, it was taboo for us to even talk about or consider.
Yes.
And that gets back to the scripture that, we looked at and talked about when we first started our segment, in adding, goodness and knowledge and faithfulness and self-control. We are always needing to add to ourselves so
That's
that,
true.
We don't subtract from others.
Now, Gina,
no,
I've seen that in you.
Okay, but the show is not about me today.
No, you got.
I love you.
Look how she got that one, Trey.
I love.
I know how she
you.
slyly dodged that one. No, sorry. You have been that same way. I admire how you have evolved in your life, because you've experienced quite a bit in your lifetime, like my mama, like you said,
Junior,
and
then watching your children go through it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That right there.
That right there.
I'm one of these people that, when the relationship is important enough, and in particular between a parent and a child, I believe that when you are a parent, this is my personal belief, when you're a parent, unless the child just, will not pick up the phone when you call, and I've seen that, you just have to keep on trying, because when you know better, when you have lived more of life, your children are going through what you already went through. I believe that it is a parent's responsibility, to keep trying, however so often, that they need to, in order to try to reconcile, with their child, because a lot of people don't understand, when you get a divorce, you don't have to divorce your children.
That's right. That's right. It's good.
Wow, that's good. Thank you.
And a lot
Gina.
of that happens.
Yeah,
that's good. We got some comments in the comment section, you guys. Let me give a shout out to thank you for coming in, Mr. Bertrand McKinney. Thank you so much for coming in. Also, we got the boss that's in, Linda Holloway. Linda Holloway, which I know that's Mr. Scribe. You're on the boss's phone. I hear you. Also, I want to get to what Sheila had said. Sheila was saying, more than the offender, forgiveness is for the individual. Ooh, so she agreed with what you said. Kimberly Harris.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, Kimberly Harris, that's my best friend from high school, you guys. When I said it was on basketball.
Hey, Kim.
Okay. Kim said,
Kim.
I'm sorry, you forgive you, not for them. So I mean, so many people are right on that same wavelength. What you were saying, Rhonda, is that forgiveness is really for you. So let me talk about me. Okay. I know you hadn't gotten to me yet, Gina, but okay.
I was coming.
All right. So I want to give Gina her flowers, because she has been that best friend to help me to understand even when I'm mad at my sister Rhonda. Here comes Gina. Was she right, Angee? Here comes Gina, coming around the corner. So Gina and I've been really good friends, best friends, and now really sisters in Christ for over 19 years. So she know me. And giving you your flowers, Gina. I want to thank you for, hanging in there, because these two sisters know how bullheaded I am. And sometimes they're like, you know what? I got nothing else to say to you. You really need to find forgiveness. Forgive your dad for what has gone on. And I've just been really like, no, I'm not doing it. But she hung in there, Tracey and Rhonda, for all these years. And not only saying it to me, I saw how Gina forgave her dad.
Right.
I saw. And it's something, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm always saying, if you don't get along with your family, then at least have that one friend that you can lean on, that will help you, that will redirect you to Christ. She said to me, in her own words, you said Jesus is Lord. And with that, continue to find in your heart to forgive your real dad. I kept saying over and over again, well, I got a dad. I'm good. And that was really how I was rolling. I'm good. I got my dad. But for if my dad is watching, thank God for my best friend, as well as my sisters, as well as my mother. I want my dad to understand that Winifred Smiley had always said my whole life, forgive your dad.
Yes.
And I'm still a work in progress. I'm not going to tell you guys, I'm going to sit up here and lie. Level up, real talk that takes you higher. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys to say that I'm all the way there. I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there was another friend of mine that encouraged me to write a letter. So now that I'm listening to my sisters on this show, first time I'm hearing that my dad is working on trying to change.
He is.
Who he is and what, what has he been doing to change? And I do believe what you're saying, Tracey, that my stepmother has been in there working on that. I've seen her do it for years.
Yes.
But I have not taken the time out to even see, how much the change has come. Because I just, up until now, like you said, now Tracey, my stepdad has passed away, of who I've never said step. He's always been my dad.
Yeah, none of us have. You're right.
I don't say stepsisters. Stacy McLeod is my sister.
Right.
Erica Mahan was our sister.
Exactly.
We don't say step. So for those of you who have been following me all these years, Level Up Nation, I'm literally laying it out to you of what is going on with us 2 years later. That's why it's 2 years later. And where we are still a work in progress in learning what forgiveness is. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Kim. We know you guys very well, and we see what you are saying. Forgiveness is not for them; it is for you. I hear you guys loud and clear. And sometimes you need another situation to show you, Angee. Your sisters are not just talking in the air. Your best friend is not just saying this for her good measure. It is in the Word of God, and continue to work through it. I promise you guys, I will continue to work through it.
Yeah.
I will eventually. Go ahead, Gina.
No, you will eventually. I want to hear the rest of that.
I was going to say, I will eventually get there.
Yeah,
you will.
So, what's interesting, and I want to be able to move on from this topic, but it is such an important one because it really affects all of society. It affects the world, and how we perceive it, how we live, the stress that's on our bodies, and our life expectancy, I believe, because for the Black community, there's so much, there's, beyond the things that have impacted the family from the outside that cause some of the things that go on the inside that causes this whole discussion about forgiveness. You have to go back on the outside then and forgive on a daily basis. And I think, one of the things about forgiveness is that it's moment by moment, because it keeps coming up. And in order to get down that road, it's like taking steps. You have to put the left foot, there to secure your next step, and then your right foot, so that every time that it comes up, you have to forgive. And I agree wholeheartedly, forgiveness is for yourself to release that. But I did bring up, the whole idea of reconciliation.
Okay.
As an automatic attachment to forgiveness, because there's also wisdom.
Okay.
And, when it's particularly when people aren't aware. And so that's where the forgiveness comes from me. This person, Angee would always say, this person, Gina, is helpless and harassed. And this is why Jesus came, because we're helpless and harassed. So this person is helpless and harassed, doesn't realize what they're doing, how they're hurting. And so there's no change.
Yeah.
And so the reconciliation piece becomes a little bit more difficult. Reconciliation on the one hand can be just, hey, how you doing? You need some pancakes this morning, I would drop them by, versus, a daily walk. So there are so many different levels, of what we're talking about here. And I think it's important not to carry the burden, because what we'll call these Howard Thurman, really who kind of is a theologian for all times, who Martin Luther King really kind of took a lot of his, direction from, and really, went and talked to Mahatma Gandhi when he didn't want to give a word for Black people in this country, coming out of slavery. He talked about hellhounds, the hellhounds that chase us down. And if you think about being a rabbit or a runaway slave, in, that instance, the hellhounds of hate, deceit, and fear are things that plague us. And when people have those things in their lives, they they tend to be hellhounds perhaps for other people. But in order to release those hellhounds, you do have to forgive. But when that behavior of a particular person, and I think there's the issue of patience, and that was a great scripture. Thank you, God, for Holy Spirit putting that in my space this morning, because you have to add to yourself and allow for yourself to change and evolve in the forgiveness process, and allow for the other person who acknowledges and wants to change and is trying to change. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can walk with somebody who is trying to change and acknowledging every time I need to talk about it, that you give me the space to do it. When I'm feeling insecure about it, you give me the space to do it, because that's really walking, and leads us to forgiveness and reconciliation. What are your thoughts on that, Rhonda?
I mean, I'm mute myself. Well, just like what we were talking about as far as like forgiveness is concerned, that's the important piece, because that gives you the release. It gives you the span and the scope and the freedom to let that stress go. Okay. And also the fact that you have to heal yourself, as far as like through God's word, through his teachings. That's the important piece, is that you immerse yourself in what he said is true. It's not easily done, because you're going to have to open yourself up to it. You're going to have to realize that people are going to do things, all kinds of things. I have had things done to me just because of my faith, and you still have to go on and live your life, and you still have to realize that he is Lord. He is my strength, my power.
Right.
Okay.
So, I really appreciate this conversation. I think, anytime we talk about forgiveness, it's a great conversation. And of course, having 6 sisters in the house, I'm sure there was plenty of room to do that on a daily basis in the bathroom alone. So let's segue a little bit from, that issue into the relationship that you guys have, and the bond that you've been able to forge, which is, in my estimation, is largely due to how your mother has raised you. And so, I'm going to take the opportunity to give Winifred Smiley the credit for, one, being an example, but 2, making a demand of how you guys might treat each other. Now, that doesn't mean that siblings always follow it, but I have admired very much, because even when you guys have things you need to forgive each other for, you're still staying and persevering in the relationship. And that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's talk about childhood.
Woo! Wow. Okay. Well, listen, you guys, we got to take this break real soon.
Okay, so, Angee, we'll start with you when we come back. The middle child.
Yeah.
Middle
child.
The middle child. Yeah, I'm the middle child. So is Rhonda.
Yeah, we're middle children.
Well, listen, you guys, we got to go ahead and take this break. But before we take our break, I want to give another shout out to Renee Saunders Brown, who have just come in saying hello to everyone. Also to Tanya M. Hutchins, who is in. Actually, Tanya was the person that actually encouraged me to write that letter, Tracey and Rhonda. It was Tanya M. Hutchins who actually did that. So thank you for chiming in. Yeah, that was Pastor Tanya, and she. I was going through Who is God, and that was one of my challenges. So I gotta give you a shout out, Miss Tanya M. Hutchins, for having me write that letter. Also, who just chimed in is Pat Nash. She's saying, "What up, sisters?" So I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys who are chimed in. I just want to encourage every last one of you guys, if you are watching on any of the platforms, you will actually need to go to the platform if you want to chime in on this conversation. We cannot see you if you are chiming in on somebody else's page. So head on over to The Real Level Up. That's The Real Level Up on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and as well as now called X. I was going to say Twitter. But I also want to let you guys know that we are very, very soon heading on over to Stoop Up. Head on over to Stoop Up, you guys. Right now, all month long, we are encouraging the Level Up Nation to head on over to StoopUp.com, sign in, get your Stoop ready, because that's where we will be going exclusively live there. All the conversations that you guys are chiming in right now, you will soon have the opportunity to do that with Stoop Up. And why Stoop Up? I'm going to tell you why. Stoop Up is a new platform, you guys, that is being very serious about just sharing good news. No fake accounts. Everybody that is joining in on this platform, you guys, is just like Facebook. I'm going to tell you what it really looks like. It looks like Facebook and YouTube mixed. But what I love about them, they are sharing the good news. No fake accounts. And also, if you guys are interested in monetizing anything that you want to monetize, your shows, your thoughts, things that you would like to sell, it's easier on this platform called Stoop Up. So once again, head on over to StoopUp.com, sign in, use the sign up referral email, which is thereallevelup@gmail.com. thereallevelup@gmail.com. You can use that as your referral. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
What you want, baby, I got what you need. You know I got it. All I'm asking for the respect when you get home. Hey, baby, when you come home, darling, every woman is all in me. I can read your thoughts right now. Everyone from A to Z.
I waited patiently. You turned to me and heard my cry. You rescued me from sinking sand. Now there's a song in my mouth, a melody of harmony with words from the heart, as we all do our part. are my brother. I hold your arms up when you're weak. I'll listen when you speak. Never hold you back. I'll meet you where you are. Giving all we've got. We'll walk in unity. My soul cries out in praise for you. What's this thirst inside my soul must feel rejoices.
Now can you hear me? Then don't you fear me? If you can hear me, please come near me. Can you hear me? Then don't you fear me? If you can hear me, please come near me. Can you hear me? Then don't you fear me? If you can hear me, please come near me. Can you hear me? Then don't you fear me? Please come near me.
I won't harm you. I'll never turn my head away. I'll lift you up each and every day. We'll take each step on that road, building heaven here on earth for all mankind. A life with dignity. Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul, my spirit rejoices in you. Can you hear me? Hear my humble cry. My soul cries out with praise for you. Please come near me. Quench this thirst inside my soul, my spirit rejoices in you.
What about all the people? Can you hear me?
Join us next week, December 10th, as we talk about Genius is Coming. Our guest, Bruce Will. And welcome back to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the Bee. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Hey, everyone who is watching us on Facebook. Did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up? That's The Real Level Up on YouTube, LinkedIn, and also X. But I want to give you guys some more information. I want to remind you that you guys can also watch us on StoopUp. Very soon, you guys, starting in January, we will be going exclusively live on StoopUp. Head on over to StoopUp.com, get your Stoop, join us, and be a part of this conversation. Well, I just want to give a shout out to some of the people who have just joined us. I also see Miss Sykes. Hello, Miss Sykes. Thank you for joining in. All right, let's get right back into our conversation.
Great.
Did you say something you wanted to ask?
We're going to make the middle child talk. We were talking about the issue of forgiveness. We covered a lot of great ground, I think, in a short period of time. But certainly, you know, having 6 girls in the house was different,
a lot,
to say the least. And, you know, we left off with having from a middle child perspective, and we'll get you, Rhonda, a middle child. You're the younger of the 2 middle children that belong to your mom. Talk about what you saw. You like, if you look down the road, you see Tracey and Rhonda.
Yeah.
And then, you know, behind you, of course, is Vicky. And I'm going to assume, you know, that your other sisters were younger as well. So tell me about that dynamic. Hi, Vicky.
There she is.
We have the younger of the Coleman girls joining us, and so we're gonna get the baby. She can't hear us yet, but that's okay. We're gonna work with her. We're gonna let Angee talk about you and and the dynamic in the household, what it was like growing up. As you share, if you would tell us a little bit about each of their personalities from your perspective.
Woo, Lord, girl, we're gonna need another show for that. But okay.
God, I'm on. Like, who was the peacemaker? Who was the angry one?
Well, okay. Well, yes. Yeah, so Gina, they would often say that I was the one that was the peacemaker. I was the one that always wanted to include everyone. I'm still like that. Look at the thing sticking her head. Anyway, but as a middle child, this from you. Watching your kids grow up and watching your middle child, like we're always the one that we're the peacemaker. We want everybody to get along.
Yeah.
What my perspective was this: Tracey was the oldest, but she was a little softer than Rhonda, because Tracey and Rhonda were always the ones that were kind of like when my mother divorced. We lived in this household on Old Pine Road. Y'all remember that?
Yep.
Well, on Old Pine Road, that's where my mom was trying to raise these 4 girls all on her own, trying to figure it out. And so I remember her leaning in on Tracey to, kind of help along the way. Like, hey, we're out here on our own, so I'm going to need a little bit more of your help to, kind of guide these 2. What I do remember doing, though, Gina, I remember Vicky and I, specifically trying to be, holy terrors to Tracey. It was like, wow. What do you think you're going to tell us what to do? You're just a sister. I'm not trying to hear that. Mm-hmm. So
well,
I don't remember this.
Yes, I remember.
Angee was the instigator then. I don't remember it.
Whatever. Anyway, but I remember this though. Tracey was trying to tell us about the rules, but Rhonda was the one that enforced it.
Forced them, yeah.
And what I remember, Rhonda, look at how Gina looking. Rhonda used to spank us with this short white brush that had these bristles and was spanking. Yep. Okay.
On the bristle side.
On the bristle side. Rhonda's only 4 years older than me. Here she is enforcing the law.
Yeah.
So then Vicky and I used to start terrorizing Rhonda.
Which never worked. Which never worked. Because I was a step ahead of y'all. Little sleek. Look.
Go ahead, Rhonda. Go ahead. Your turn.
I was gonna say you all was something else. I mean, I never saw any 2 sisters like a year apart. Y'all year apart. Oh my goodness, get into everything. Fighting over everything.
Oh, let's not talk about fighting.
Oh, we can.
Let's not go there. Snickers bar. Let's not go there.
No, let's
at
go
school.
there. Just
at school, you too.
Vicky, what are you talking about?
You're right.
Let's see. We were on Denison Avenue. Tracey and Rhonda got into a fight about, I think it was a Snickers bar. And I just remember the roller swinging. That's what I remember. Oh, Tracey does remember that.
We love our chocolate.
We were arguing over a Snicker bar. I can't believe it. And at the time, when we were young, we had these big, large plastic rollers in our hands.
I mean, yeah.
Remember? Yeah. So we got into it. We got into it about the Snickers. The rollers went flying. So,
yeah, they do.
They would remember the fights, okay?
Of course.
Whatever.
Johnny come lately. Don't make me go there.
Man, be quiet. Y'all know I'm always in meetings. I don't know why y'all tripping. I'm the grand lady. I can't be out of the meeting.
Anyway. So yeah, Gina. So that was my take on it. I do remember Vicky and I being holy terrors
Yes, you were.
Tracey.
I just remember terrorizing
We
Tracy's
need to go back to
boyfriend.
forgiveness again because Rhonda, you have this particular tone about this holy terror thing now, and maybe maybe the audience needs some examples to understand, the now prim and proper Vicky and Angee.
Prim and proper. Oh my God, they still not. What are you talking about, prim and proper?
Prim and proper.
I just can recall Ange. She was into sports a lot, so she would go around the house yelling out. She was a pro. She was a pro and bouncing a basketball in the house, mind you, in the
That's
house,
right.
and throwing
tackle
things on
people.
top of ceiling fans and all this crazy stuff. I said so.
Yeah.
And then Vic, on the other hand, she was super sensitive about everything. I can remember her and Edge arguing over different things at school, mind you. Got into a fight at school. And then mom had to come and get them situated out.
Mama cut my nails.
Yeah, because you scratched her.
At school.
Yep.
At school.
Yeah.
And so did your mother have to leave her job and her
Yes,
class? She's a
to go get them.
let's give a shout out to school teachers today. We appreciate what school teachers do. Teaching is very different from it when teaching. But nevertheless, let's hear that story. That's a good one there. Now tell me about Winifred Smiley having to leave her class or her job to come and deal with the two of you.
We'll let Vic talk about that one.
Yeah, let Vic talk about that one.
Why am I having to talk about that one? Oh,
Because it was you.
It was
you and
always
her.
after school. It was not during the day that I remember. I remember after school, particularly when
she had to come pick you.
Yeah, we had a teacher who decided she was going to call me easy come, easy go. And she, I think I had a boyfriend or something. And the boy kissed me and she said, you don't need people to know that you're an easy come, easy go. And then when she got to mom, she said, no, I said, think you're an easy. No, nope. You said no. So, there's a think and there's a no. Now, there's two different messages there. You know what you said. And I like how mama handled it. Mama was very professional. Because I think mama may have believed me when I told her what the lady said. Because this was one of the teachers who was giving us all a hard time, Miss Smith. Rest her soul. But yeah, mom said, now I know.
Was this after the fight? I'm confused.
Oh, no, these are like different times.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, she wouldn't know about the fight, you and Ange.
I can't remember what it was about.
Oh, Lord.
Be honest with you. I just remember mama cutting my nails.
So let me go back to Rhonda. Rhonda, did your mother go to the school?
Yeah, she came up to the school to get them.
So Vicky, you don't remember your mama coming to school?
I mean, not coming up. I remember getting it after school.
My mother at school. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had to come up to the school, but you just don't remember. I know. It's okay.
Right. So, because I understand, there should have been a level in my mind based on who your mother is, where, you were almost afraid. But that when you have
afraid.
So, yeah, that too. When you have so many personalities, though, you're going to have the one who always wants to break out from the pack. You're going to have, the one who's not afraid as much. I have one of those.
Oh.
But, that's why I wanted to, hear about the different personalities. So tell me, who is the one who is sentimental?
Trey.
Yeah. I got a little bit of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have that. Sentimentality.
So in the whole scheme of who you all are. So there's one that's more sentimental. Okay. Rhonda, we already heard you were the enforcer. Stop. The white brush and the bristle. That's okay. So there has to be an enforcer. Someone has to do it. And you have really
that's true.
You gave us the best lesson on forgiveness today. So you're good.
Yeah.
So who is the one who who is the most mischievous?
Angee.
She's the one who actually is the most mischievous.
Yeah, she's calculating, man.
Oh, wow.
She's calculating. Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about calculation. That takes it to another level. Mischievous, calculated. That's, premeditated. So tell me about that.
She's my best friend now.
That's how come
But
she
Angee,
knows.
but Angee also is the one that we all trust with the business, So it takes a certain brain for that. And like Rhonda, you say Rhonda's an enforcer,
Criminal
but
mind.
yeah, but the enforcer is also the one that we trusted with our kids years later. You see what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. But when you're
yeah,
children, you don't really see all these things. You just kind of go like, listen, I'm not trying to deal with you right now. So I think I have a good lease. Now tell me how the dynamic played in the household when your mom came into the midst of all of this.
Ooh. Okay.
Silence.
Okay. Yeah. Silence. Yeah. She would shut it down, Gina. Like we would.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to me and Vic terrorizing Tracey and Ron, right? So mom would come home from whatever she was doing, whether it be work or sometimes, she would have to go out with the girls to get away from us for a couple of seconds.
Very true.
And she was dating. My mom was dating. So when she would come back, come back and we would be like, me and Vic would be like this. We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like thing one, thing two.
So who was the favorite boyfriend of all of the sisters over the years?
Who had the favorite boyfriend?
Yeah, who was the boyfriend of all the sisters that everybody liked? And
well, my boyfriend
Ray.
Well, think about Tracey.
Ray.
When Tracey traveled with us, remember?
Yeah.
My boyfriend.
Look at everybody's face, though, Angee. I don't want you to be under any misconception about what the question I asked.
This man, she said, I don't want to be raised with no clown money.
Push.
Because
I still think it's Tony because he's been from thick and thin with our family.
Yours, Rhonda.
I think it's Tony. Tony's been there through thick and thin, through the youth, through.
Tony?
Now that's my husband. He's been there since the beginning. Because actually his mother was the one that reared Angee and Vic through pre-K.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
So we've known that family for a very long time. Then Victoria and his sister, all three of us were dancers together, and that's how he and I got together.
So what is it that everybody likes about Tony?
What do we like about Tony?
But when you were younger, I don't, now is like he's old hat now. He's been old. What was it that made him the favorite of the boyfriends back in the day? Because y'all look like y'all would get a broom and sweep somebody right on out the door pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
true.
So
I thought you were talking about a favor for each one of us. That's why I was starting to go down the list. Yeah.
Okay, so we can do that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but there is one amongst all the sisters sometimes that just stands out.
Yeah, that's Tony.
That's Tony.
Yeah, he's been there from the beginning to the end.
I gotta give it to him.
Yeah. And how long have you all been married, Rhonda?
This will be going on our 32nd year this year.
Okay. Well, the sisters were right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been there long.
Yeah.
He put up with a lot of what we put him through.
Yeah.
And he's still putting up with it.
Yeah.
And Tony,
that's true.
Even with everything we've gone through, he was always there. If we needed him to fix things, same thing now. Okay. He was always there.
That's true.
Or take care of the kids because he would have those all the boys come over to the house and they would all be there all together watching movies, doing TV, having their little talks, doing games, whatever.
Yeah. Slumber parties.
I am aware that everyone likes Torrance Scott quite a bit as well. So.
No, we love Torrance.
Torrance is our comedian. Don't you think so? He's our comic relief.
Oh yeah.
Vic would know that.
We're going through some deep stuff. He will. I'm sorry to put it out here, Ange. He will go get the liquor.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would go get the wine.
Yeah.
He would go get the wine coolers.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he would sit with us
Mm-hmm.
and just joke. I mean,
just out there
joking.
So much so that I have to be excused before he gets started.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how. Now we really. I have to say, I have the best brother-in-laws. I
Yeah.
will never tell them to their faces per se.
But he's doing it now.
Hear it now.
They're watching.
But I do. I have the best brother-in-laws anyone can ever have because they both put up with us.
Yeah.
All of us.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
They know that we are tight. We are. What do you call us, Vicky? We are
a pack of wolves.
Well, yeah, wow. Yeah, we are.
Pack of wolves.
Okay.
The way it is, baby.
You call us what is it? I can't think of the
codependent.
No. The beat. You talking about the movie?
No, we're very strong will or
opinionated.
Yeah.
I'm type A. We're all of us are.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you.
Yes,
yes, you are.
I love this whole thing. This is fantastic. We really are getting the whole story right here. This is really good. Okay, so let's deviate. What is the story that you guys remember, that everybody was involved in when you guys got in trouble? And what happened?
See it?
There's so many.
It's looking like I didn't get in trouble. That mess they were doing, I tried to enforce it. I told Mama and Daddy that what is the big to do? What is the one that got everybody in trouble?
Everybody in trouble.
Everybody.
Well,
so there were no house parties when Mama was gone, and
Oh no! Are you kidding? No, ma'am.
No.
We were scared of Winifred Smiley.
Yeah, I don't mess with her now.
Okay. So there was no joint. Who was the person that would come when one person was in trouble and try to save them?
Tracy.
Oh, we are. Yeah.
Tracy.
Tracy said that was me.
And
they need to remember me every birthday for that mess.
Ooh, let's talk about birthdays and cakes, Rhonda.
Boy, Edge.
The cake murderer.
Tell us about cake, Rhonda.
Well, how old were you, Angee? When you were 4 years old. We were trying to help. I was trying to help Mama get the cake off the table or something like that, and then I ended up dropping Angie's cake. Angie, poor Angie. She was so upset.
I remember. I was 4 years old.
We were just trying to help out, trying to get the cake over to the table, and then it fell. I'm like, oh.
But wait, here's one for you. How about Angee killing grandmother Santa Claus?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That was funny.
What happened with killing Santa Claus?
Listen, Gina, she always takes it to another level. I helped my grandmother bring in her ceramic.
That she made.
Yeah.
She made.
Yeah, she created.
Wow.
Took time to do it, and I broke it, and it broke not into one or two pieces. It shattered.
Yeah.
And yet, that's the first time I ever saw my grandmother really want to kill you, but loved you too much.
Wow. So question. So I think, the audience can pick up, that this is perhaps one of those rare times in life where you see all of the siblings, and in particularly women, that have a genuine love, tolerance, peace, patience, kindness, and gentleness toward each other. Those are the fruits of the Spirit. A little bit earlier, Vicky, before you got here, we talked a little bit about forgiveness, and we talked about the circumstances in which you guys came to have a stepfather.
Yes.
So tell me, during that time, and when you guys came out of the situation, when you were in another place and outside of your household, how did you begin to deal with one another? did the circumstance or the dynamic, change? I mean, obviously you were here for a while, everything is here. And then you come here, talk about the process of coming down and really getting to a good place.
Oh, Mama was good for that, because Mama was always that what is it? Evening spirit. Because Mama always helped us understand that even though times are bad, God always is there, and if God means this for you, you're gonna get it. And that's why we've always had, one of the reasons why we've always had such a strong faith, because we saw Mom put it into action. And make it very practical.
People are just joining. Vicki, can you give us just a little update on the circumstances by which you guys ended up leaving your household?
Oh, I mean, it just, it was domestic violence, and we had to leave. So, but then, we learned how to understand both of our parents are human. Okay. And even though things happen and it caused us to, have to change things, we still understood that there are always sides of the story, guys. I mean, learning how to forgive what happened and understand that, maybe it was just harder for him to understand what was going on and to take it. But we love him. And now that we're adults, we definitely see a different side of everything. I'm not condoning anything. I'm just saying that we understand that pressure is pressure, and it's all in how you take it. It could have been pressure from the job, pressure from your mama, pressure from, any number of things. And how do you deal with that when you go home?
So, but for you guys, when you are now in a safe place, and kudos to, your mom. I think it's a very interesting dynamic, because sometimes, and this is where education is important.
Indeed.
Faith is important.
Oh, definitely.
Because some people can't leave and end up having to, be in other circumstances that are perpetuated from the one that they're in. Just to stop and say right now, if you know someone who is involved with domestic violence and struggling, and particularly where there are children concerned, don't be afraid to step in and try to get them some help.
Yes.
That's just something
that's important.
Well, yeah, it's important to have somebody to talk to if you're under, like I said, that pressure. We don't know all of what the pressure was that Mama was under, that Daddy was under. We don't know, and we can't necessarily cast stones without understanding what was all going on, because we don't know everything that was going on with both of them, either one of them. So
right, I got you. I do know that there's no there is no point at which we put our hands, anyone should put their hands on another person. So that's just a circumstance that so many people have gone through, and particularly for Black people, there's the pressure for Black men when their hands, their people put their hands on them, and it's just at random. That's part of the oppression. We talked a little bit about that too, Vicki. Just, the oppression that we do have. So you're right. We don't know, what really makes somebody snap. But it is important to not snap back. And so sometimes it is important to leave. And so as you guys, saw your mom put you in a car and take you away, there had to be some sort of sense of, it's bittersweet, I would think. But when you guys started to come down into that and be happy again, what was the process, do you think? Or just did it happen naturally? Or tell me about the process.
It was, okay, from my point of view, just to be clear, faith. Seriously, Mama always kept us in the church. Even when we would go to visit Baptist churches, and visit different churches, Mama always was that force that made us understand it's all about God. And understanding that, you lean on him when times are tough and he comes through for you. So
do you think that that was a particular time in our history? Do you think that we as a community are as tied in that sense as we were at one point? and what is the value, and what is your perception about what might be happening right now in our own communities?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Anybody can jump
Okay.
in.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say that a lot of it has to do with, especially the Black community, getting counseling. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with you getting that
No,
help if you
at
need
all.
help.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had a severe speech impediment, and getting that counseling, going through therapy, all that made the difference.
Yeah.
Because you had someone that could relate to what you were going through. You had someone that could listen to how you were feeling. And again, you have a way of getting out those fears or shame, whatever it may be. And that is a key component that our community really needs to lean into more so, because in the past, all we did was just pray or go to our ministers or pastors or imams. But you have to have in some of those cases a professional to go through with the help in the healing process. That's a vital and key important.
Yeah,
that's true.
my process was a little different, and because you hear that you're supposed to turn to God, and Mama was good at that. But my first feeling once we left was relief, because we didn't witness the fighting, we didn't witness the fussing, we didn't witness the accusing. So once we left, I was relieved. I was happy that we didn't have that pressure over us.
Yeah.
That's hard as a kid.
Yeah.
And so, as a kid, I didn't automatically think, I need to pray to God. I need to think about God in all of this. It took Mama to tell me eventually.
Yeah.
But just getting out of that thing, I was probably ready to go before Mama was. Because I was tired of feeling the way the heaviness of it, and not knowing what was going to happen day after day. Is there going to be a fight today? Is there going to be a fight this night? Is there going to be a fight this afternoon? Not knowing what or when it was going to pop off. So I don't know. I know all of our outlooks, Gina, is different, because I get all 4 different individuals.
Right.
I appreciate that Mama did give us that spiritual background and forgiving and understanding that you love your dad despite. But when my mama walked out that door with those suitcases, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I think that's a very important thing, and I know we got to wrap up here shortly. And I want to thank you guys for being so open. I think the different perspectives really help people, who might be listening in, because they may find themselves in one of your perspectives. And the great thing is that with all the different perspectives, with your shared DNA, and you're still different people, you can thrive, and you can love one another, and you can be the tight-knit group. You can be the circle that you need to be for each other. I just thank you, for who you are, the way you love your mom, and for the strides that you're making. If you had to pick one word about your family, what would it be?
Strength.
Patience.
I would say forgiveness, because we still have a lot that we're
I would chime in tight knit.
And all those things in the pot together is a great gumbo.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys, I want to thank all of my sisters for coming on, and especially Gina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you for having me.
Holding this conversation and being, so open and real. I knew she would be the one, you guys, to bring it out, because she knows us. She's known us for quite some time. She could, pull it out of us. Sometimes it's important. As you guys know, what we do here at Level Up is real talk that takes you higher, and we hope that the realness of what we shared helped, so many of you guys who may be going through. Please, I think we have done a great job in saying this. be sure that you have at least one person you can lean on
Yeah.
and lean in without judgment, without
Yeah.
looking at you, staring at you, think you're crazy. Mine is Gina, and that's why I've always, cherished our relationship. And going forward, one of the things that I want to just kind of chime in one more time, it is important as we talked about our children. I did have that automatic tribe with my sisters because each and every one of our children think they're brothers and sisters more than cousins.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they do. That's
They don't know who to call mama either.
No, not for real.
And I tell you this much, I've seen that in action. The kids coming together, helping each other and assisting each other in time of need and necessity. They're there for each other. So that does pass on with the family dynamic.
Yeah.
We are there for each other when we need to be there. We're there for each other.
Oh yeah.
I think Mama did a great job I remember Mom always used to say to us, now you ain't got nobody else but your sister, so you better.
That's right.
That's it.
But grandmother said that before her though.
That's right.
Remember that?
Yeah, she did.
My mother's mother, Loretta. I remember her definitely saying that. She didn't like for us to argue.
Oh no.
You could not say you a lie. That's like cussing.
We are going to go into our final break of the show. I want you guys to also kind of lean in and pay attention. We have a special guest that we're going to bring on. Her name is Robin Courtney. She has a special announcement that she would like to share with each and every one of you. So you guys kind of tune in, stay tuned for that special announcement. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back. And what you are watching right now, we are just want to share with you our special announcement with Mr. Mark Twyman, Pastor Mark Twyman. They are sharing a very important announcement to the community. Grief in one day. What they are doing at their church, everyone, they are inviting the community to come and share in their grief in one day. I want you guys to understand that these times during the holidays is the hardest.
Yeah.
And especially what we shared on this show about losing our dad December 15th, right smack in the middle of the holidays.
Yeah.
There are so many people that are going through that right now.
Yeah.
That they are grieving. And so I appreciate my friend coming on and letting us know that at their church, they are going to share in helping the community to come out to where they are located. And I'm actually trying to bring it up real quick, where they're located. But they are going to be holding this December 13th. And if you guys want more information, head on over to The Real Level Up. We'll actually have all of that information ready for you guys to look at and share with your community as well. And I call this community online a community. So when you guys head on over to The Real Level Up, we will have that information, all the information there. Please share it to your one-on-one, face-to-face communities, as well as your digital community. Our next announcement. We want to announce the toy drive for Mercy Worldwide. And what we're going to do is bring on Miss Robin Courtney. Welcome to Level Up again, Robin Courtney. Share a little bit about what your community is doing for this amazing toy drive.
Yes, so this is actually the 15th
Well, this is the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everyone who has been a part of, not just on our panel, not just as guests and not as guest hosts. Thank you, Gina, once again for being our guest host. But for all of you guys who tapped in and joined us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and also on X. I want to remind you again that we will be going exclusively live on StoopUp. StoopUp, head on over to StoopUp.com so that you guys can be a part, continue to be a part of our live conversations right there. I want you to use thereallevelup@gmail.com. Thereallevelup@gmail.com. That's the email that you can use to join in and be a part, to continue to be a part of our discussions. Well, you guys, that's the end of our show. Thank you once again for tuning in. I want you to know that we will be back here next week, same time, same bat channel, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here at The Real Level Up. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll see you next week. We love you, mean it. Take care.
Hey, this is Ash Cash, the financial motivator, and I need you to level up.
Hey, this is Gina A. Towns on Real Talk that takes you higher. Level up.
Hello, this is Roger Yeager. Level up. Check them out every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m.
Hey, this is Dr. Crystal of Kaleidoscope Counseling Center. Level up with me and Angee from the B.